Welcome back to the channel. We have another GLITCHMARE video because there's so many hidden details we found in the Indie Dev Day presentation that the Keplerians gave last Saturday. So today, we're going to go through the concepts of how they led themselves to the GLITCHMARE, the idea behind it, and why they think villains are so important to the Keplerian games. So they started with an introduction of who the Keplerians are and what they do and what different games they had. We know all of that, so we're not going to go through that today. This is also a very hidden detail, secret detail that I never knew existed. The Evil Nun was created initially as a zombie teacher. A zombie attacks you in a scary school. So they thought, why is a zombie attacking me in a scary school? Let's turn it into a nun. Let's give her a story. Let's put like a revenge plot line on it. And let's go. See what happens. See how it works. I think it worked pretty well, actually. If you go back to the beginning, the first nun, the nun, not evil nun, it was very creepy. Okay, but you could see there's an initial beginning of a story starting. It wasn't like Granny, which was very simplified. It was different, and then eventually led into the Evil Nun eventually, which had so much more things in it. It was very complicated. It got crazy in my opinion, but I think that was cool how the idea of the villain was created. The importance of villain, which is what they focus on a lot in this presentation. But because they're talking about the villain, they're going to talk about the GLITCHMARE bear, and that's where we get all our details from. When they talk about villains are important, villains aren't just bad and that's it. Each one of them has a specific and justified function, why they exist, what they're doing, and why they are villains in the end. One of the examples they give relating to the Evil Nun, it's not the same to have a zombie that wants to eat you in a school from which you have to escape than a teacher who's a nun and chases you with a giant hammer. It does make it better, in my opinion. Next aspect, they went into the brainstorming of how they created the idea for GLITCHMARE, what initially started their thought process on it. This lasted 5 months, by the way, until they understood what they wanted to do. So we'll start with the beginning. It's kind of basic though. They wanted to connect the villain, the story, and the gameplay together. It has to be. Like, those are the three aspects of a mobile horror game, specifically a Keplerian mobile horror game. So the first phase that they thought was that you're on a train and you go from station to station. There's different puzzles that you can complete. And that was a very basic version. It actually sounds a bit like Smiling X, one of the ones that I tried before, where you're on a train. It's way more complicated than that, but yes. That reminds me of that. Another idea was that there was a magic item store and something related to that. And eventually they led to a complicated idea that they simplify eventually, but we'll start with it. Mesoamerican indigenous people, so Native Americans, were invaded by aliens. Okay, the aliens go and crash down on these people and their whole town gets destroyed. And then the main character, who's hunting with his bear, finds out that this happens. Then the aliens run away through a portal, and then the bear and the person run through the portal, and that's how the game starts. So they thought this was very complicated, and they wanted to simplify it. So they removed the whole alien aspect. That isn't there anymore, okay? But the bear stays. I'm not sure if the Native American stays, but there are some comics that I talked about in my last video. If you haven't watched it, go watch that. So it's possible that that's how this starts. So after thinking that's it, the bear is the decision. They have gone through different ways and different other animals as well. There's a bear, there's a bird or eagle, there's a wolf, there's a frog, and there's a lizard. Eventually they led to bear. I'm not sure why. The bear was the choice. Maybe in the future they might add more, or I'm not sure exactly. But they went through the concept of Pokemon, different variations and different evolutions, what they're going to look like, a smaller version, a higher version, a stronger version. And that's where this slide comes through. This is also really focused on the art style and the artwork of the game. And then they talk also about the setting and the time for it. Okay, Ice Cream was set in the 80s, so you had that synthy music. The vibe of the 80s was there. For this game, they're sticking to 1995, so the 90s in Oklahoma. So it's a different vibe, completely different. It's more grungy, I think that's what they called it. And dirty, maybe? I think it's going to be good, though. It's a different thing. And I think it's going to be good. They have different pictures, different things, like an arcade unit. Because arcades were very popular in the 90s, by the way. I'm a 90s kid, 80s kid actually, but 90s kid. So they go through like different consoles and different things and like what a living room used to look like in the 90s. And then they talk about their ecosystem of a villain. They have different attributes of how they create their villain. They show this picture. So we have realism, appeal, creepiness, and style. And it has all their other characters of how they scaled on this ecosystem. You can see Mr. Meat. He's closer to realism because he looks more like a man. And then you have Evil Nun, which is more to the creepy side because she's technically undead. Then you have the Angry King, which is a mix of appeal and style. And then you also have Rod, who is a mix of both of those as well. Rod's very stylish. I really liked Ice Cream. It was a good style mix, I think, for it. The next thing they talk about is when they create something in Glitchmare. Okay, we're going to focus completely on Glitchmare now. We're not talking about the other games. In Glitchmare, they have to create a pixel art version, a pixelated version for the actual game inside the game. Okay? So they have to create that version, then they have to create the mobile horror version, which is like the normal graphics that you can see when you play mobile horror games. They actually had 3 parts. One was pixel art, one was 2D and 3D, and one was reality, which is the mobile horror version. The 2D and 3D thing, I think what they're talking about is it's a new style they started incorporating it. Basically, it looks like a 2D game, but it's in a 3D world. So the characters are 2D, but everything looks 3D. It's cool. I like it. It's very stylish. Very cool. And now they talk about the bear and the different variations of the bear, of how he looks like. Okay, so you have a good version, like a bodyguard to this Native American. All right, and then they show the difference between the glitched, corrupted version of the bear and the good version of the bear, and how he looks like, how to make him scarier, basically. And then they show so many different variations of the bear in all the graphical styles that they talked about just recently. And also it's on that ecosystem as well. The bear currently is in the middle of all of them, okay? But different variations can be more creepy, can be more realistic, can have more appeal or more style. They also decided that he should be organic because it's Native American, okay? It's a tribal aesthetic, and he is made of wood. So all his features is made of wood, which is cool, like a totem basically. And now they have to create the personality behind the bear, okay? This is not a simple bear. He's intelligent. He is going to find you, whoever you are. The villain must always have a mission. These are the questions that they go to when they try to design this character. What are you doing here as the player? Do you know why the bear is here? How do you behave in this world? Why is the bear aggressive? Does he still have some of her previous personality left? Like, is he still partially good, or is he completely corrupted and there's no saving him? I think he's gonna be saved. I think he will be. Is it necessary to know? Do you need to know that he can be saved? And how intelligent is the bear? So the bear is hacked, like I said previously, so he's a glitch version. So he's not completely evil, or he's not originally evil, but he is evil at this point because he's hacked and corrupted. He also has the ability to speak. They've shown multiple clips that he's like, "Where are you? I have to get you." That's cool. I think that's really cool. They show other pictures over here when they're talking about the glitches and the color they chose for the glitches. When you see pink, you know it's glitched or hacked, okay? So the portals are pink, and they focused on that throughout the areas. Even in my previous video, there was blots and areas of pinkness around the map in one of the concept design. Those are areas that have been hacked through, or things have come through, whether it's the bear or something else, we don't know yet, but we will find out soon. They actually did say something that was very interesting. One of the hidden details about this is that you can't see the bear. You need a device to see the bear. I'm not sure if this is a final mechanic, but this is a very interesting mechanic that you have to look through something to see the bear. And the second aspect is that the bear is blind. He can only smell you. So there might have different items that you use to like mask your smell, so he can't smell where you are and actually find you, which is going to be interesting. It's going to be cool, I think. It's very different from their previous games. It's different from all the other mobile horror games. And I really have high hopes in Glitchmare, okay? I think it's exciting. I can't believe they went in depth with so much in the presentation. It was really cool listening to it, translating everything, and creating this video. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next video.